Due to delays in the production schedule, some scenes from this video have been scrapped in favor of repurposing them in later episodes. Also, due to time constraints, this video is not censored. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello people, I'm M. Page, and welcome to the second annual Yu-Gi Month. Of course, no one's going to be watching this during Yu-Gi Month, because nobody in my audience gives a crap about Yu-Gi-Oh! Where's my life?
Hello darkness, my old friend.
This year we got 3 decks to review, and this time I have some help. If he'll actually... get in the frame, you freak! Countess Chris is here! Because you guys won't shut up about how awesome he is, apparently. Seriously, it's getting annoying. Anyway, so this year we have 3 decks to look at. We got Lost Sanctuary from 5Ds, and we got Wave of Light, which is a recent one, I think, and we got the Saga Blue Eyes, which is the greatest deck I've ever seen in my life, and I don't say that very often. So what we're gonna do is, instead of just straight up cutting the gameplay footage, we're gonna actually unbox these. We're gonna take a look at the decks and get our first impressions before we try them out in my super cool ultra advanced duel simulator. So without further ado, let's go! Okay, the first deck we're going to look at today is Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Lost Sanctuary. It was a sale that I bought at a Walmart because it's outdated as hell. Shut up, phone. Unfortunately, this one's already been opened because somebody got a little too carried away with this.
Oops.
Anyway, so as usual with a structure deck, you get a field. Of course, this one's outdated, so we're just not even gonna look at it. And you get the manual, because every game should have a manual, and a lot of people say it's redundant that every structure deck comes with a manual, but I say it's a good thing. The rules for these games change all the time, and it's good to be updated. But I already know the rules, so meh. Alright, and
also that one's outdated too.
Yeah, but not like my duel simulator. That's up to date. Anyway, so there's a little sheet that tells you what cards are in the deck and how to play it. So it also tells you what certain mechanics are and tells you what you should buy if you want to make this better, but realistically you don't have to because there's plenty of other homebrew solutions out there on the internet. So we'll look at that later. We have a pass for Yu-Gi-Oh! Online. Shows how dated this deck is. I don't smoke, you know that. I found a hole. I found my hole. I'm gonna stick my fingers in it.
That came out so wrong.
Or did it come out so right?
You found your hole. You're gonna stick your fingers in it. Okay.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. We got cards. These are definitely cards. Ooh, Marshmallow. He's my favorite.
It's so irritating.
He's a big fluffy ball of destruction, and I love everything about it. I wonder if there's marshmallow glasses in here. Please don't throw your marshmallow glasses in here. Come on, please, 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 please. Nope, 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 nope. Ooh, Mausoleum of the Emperor. I love this. Like this is a good card if you don't like tributes. If you find yourself in a deck that boosts your life points extraordinarily high, pair it up with this and you can get your high level monsters out in it immediately. And there's no marshmallow glasses in here. Of course, there's Torrential Tribute, the one card that almost nobody uses in the show, yet inexplicably every single character from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Duel Academy has this in their deck. Why? And Solemn Judgment, the card that likes to kick my ass in Beginning of Destiny. And of course, an advertisement to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Online, which no longer exists. But before we judge these cards, we need to look at this guide here. Let's see, it says here, Agents of the Planets can be used to special summon and the Master Hyperion, which is this little shitter. And
let's get a close up on that card.
okay,
You want to see what it really looks like?
yeah, you have to remove from play the agent, and then you can remove a light fairy type in the graveyard to select a card on the field, destroy it. And then if Sanctuary in the Sky is out, you can activate this twice. So a good field spell to have is Sanctuary in the Sky, which is in here twice somehow. But anyway, if I have a fairy and someone fights it, I take no damage. Go beans. Die, plastic. Alright, let's see, so the agents of the agent cards. I need
the Asian cards? Okay.
Well, technically they are Asian. This is a Japanese card game. Fudge!
We're gonna have tons of YouTube fodder after
Mars, Earth, Jupiter, and Saturn.
Mars is the best one.
Right. And Mercury. Alright, so some of these have abilities that activate while Sanctuary in the Sky is there, and some of them just have abilities, period. We got all the planets. We got Earth, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, Venus. I need to stop doing that. Mars. Shut up, Discord. Let's see.
Wow, when did the Lord of Chaos get in here?
That's my chat log. God, you're a pleb. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. There's no Eurectum, there's no Neptune, and there's no Pluto. I mean, I can expect there being no Pluto.
There is a Pluto, actually. She's just not in this deck.
Pluto's not a planet anymore, remember?
I know. These predated the exclusion of Pluto as a planet.
No, it didn't. This came out in... Where's the date on this thing? Was there ever a date on this thing? Hang on. This came out around 2011. Pluto was well established as not a planet anymore by this point.
Oh, okay. Well, then I stand corrected.
Okay. So, the Sanctuary in the Sky has triggers the special effects of Mars, Earth, Jupiter, and Saturn, which means Mercury and Venusaur have their own effects that do diddly whatever.
Venusaur? This is Yu-Gi-Oh, not Pokemon.
Well, it's your fault. You're the one influencing me with all the stupid card games, always taking me to different ones, and you're getting my thoughts mixed up. Okay. So, it says here that the Sanctuary in the Sky lets you dish out Divine Punishment, and Divine Punishment is a trap card, which allows you to negate an effect and destroy it. So,
okay.
Essentially, this is Magic Jammer, Trap Jammer, and Skill Drain roll into one, hidden behind an arbitrary field spell requirements.
Yeah, which makes it so much worse.
This makes Hero Barrier look like a friggin' god. And there's also a bit here about Celestial Wisdom. Cards from the Sky is the card that I'm looking for. It's funny how these cards are so godlike when the anime and TCG tries so hard to remove religion from any of this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised I haven't seen a cross yet. Or an Ankh even. Remove from play a life fairy type monster in your hand and draw 2 cards. During this turn, you cannot special summon or conduct your battle phase. So, a pot of greed with a pot of punishment.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm supposed to use one of these agents to special summon a Master Hyperion, which kind of looks like Bell if he got like transgendered or something. And then while he's he's already a powerful monster to boot, but once per turn you can also banish a light fairy from the graveyard to destroy a card, and with Sanctuary in the Sky you can do that twice. And so in addition to being a Fairy God Parrot, he's also helpful to Fairy God Parrot! Let's see. Shut up, phone. This paper tells us about the remove from play mechanic, And I'm pretty sure anyone that's played Yu-Gi-Oh! Already knows about the remove from play mechanic, now called banish, and if you haven't, Google it. So, that is the Lost Sanctuary deck, and based on it, I can say that we definitely have cards in here that work very well together, and all the monsters here are the same type, fairy, so you can tell there is a definite element of theming going on in here. It's consistency, it's unity, it's friendship, and I like it. So we've seen how Lost Sanctuary looks and feels, but the true test, according to this channel, is how it plays. I don't give a crap about value. So we're going to fire up our fancy schmancy handy dandy duel simulator.
Ooh, duel simulator. Can I watch?
Actually, there's a super special secret task I have for you. It runs on fuel, and, like, not just any fuel, it's like gamer fuel. Go get some, Cheez-Its.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna frickin' just go on without them. Okay, guys, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't actually have a fancy-pantsy duel simulator. It's just YGO Pro Percy, which you can download from their Discord server. But anyway, a little peek behind the curtain, I actually did all these duels prior to recording most of the footage for the episode, where I show off the decks, and essentially what we have here is me playing against a practice dummy. So I'm gonna do some replays, tell you about my experiences with each duel that I did, and pretty much tell you my thoughts on the deck based on that. Okay. First thing I will tell you about Lost Sanctuary is that it has a very steep learning curve, and the cards that I originally got that used the term remove from play instead of banish, so that's how dated this deck was. In fact, I had to switch my settings in YGO Pro to have no ban list before I could even use this deck in the simulator. However, my opponent was using, I think this was like a cyber stack, and I couldn't get a lot of my stuff out because one, I had no idea what I was doing with the deck, and two, his cybers pretty much stopped me at any chance I got. The point of this deck, I think, is that you want to use monsters to summon other monsters. Let me take a look at these cards here, actually. Oh, these involve banished fairy monsters. So, what you want to do is use the Agents cards, Agents of Mercury, Agents of Venus. Okay, yeah, I forfeited at this point because I had no idea what I was doing and the entire thing was a fustercluck. So let's move on to replay number 2. As it said in the papers, the point of this deck is to use the Agents monsters to summon Master Hyperion. Let me just switch this around. I forgot about this. Alright. So, yeah. The point is to get Master Hyperion out, because Master Hyperion has an effect where you can banish a monster from the graveyard to destroy a monster. And the point about this deck is a lot of these cards are boosted by the effects of Sanctuary in Sky. So naturally you want to get Sanctuary in the Sky out so you can boost the effects of the monsters you have. And then once you do that, use the effects to get Master Hyperion out by any means necessary. So, based on that, I find this deck very limited in terms of customization, because this deck is strictly light attribute fairy type monsters, and it revolves around such an elitist set that I have really no idea how to expand that personally, but then again, it's been a while since I built the deck, so what do I know, In this one, I'm going up against the Cyber Dragon, Nova, and Infinity. And I'll be honest with you, no matter what deck you use, Cyber Dragon, Nova, and Infinity is really friggin' annoying when it comes to facing them in a duel. So don't take this replay file into consideration of my skills. or the effectiveness of the deck in general, because like I don't know how the guy I was going up against got around to building this deck, but I'm pretty sure that he just wanted to tick me off. However, I do see the deck has its merits. There are some limited expansion options, though I don't see much. Maybe with Wave of Light, but that still remains to be seen. Sanctuary in the Sky is a good field spell, and I don't doubt. I would like to see some like Karibos in here, though. It kind of goes with the theme, even if it's not like a fairy type. I don't know if it's a fairy type or a fiend type, actually. One thing I noticed with this deck, as well as Wave of Light, is like they're using like an angel kind of theme. Well, more so in Wave of Light than here, but they have like this angel aesthetic going on where the monsters pretty much represent heaven's angels and stuff. So I'm not really sure what else to say at this point. Just keep watching the replay, and I'll see you in the next deck. So, Return from a Different Dimension is, of course, banned under the current rule set, or at least it was as of May 2018, which is the latest ban list my Duel Simulator can access. But I feel like you can replace it with another Miraculous Descent, and it'll do just fine. I give this deck as strong and fair 8 out of 10. Sorry, dude, you just missed it. But you're just in time to help me film the next box. Next deck on the list is Wave of Lights. Deck number 2 is Wave of Light. Wave of Light. And this is a recent deck that I picked up at my Walmart. And as you can tell by the back, there's no extra deck cards. So they're aiming for simplicity, much like that last deck was. That's one thing I forgot to mention. The other deck didn't have extra deck cards either. I mean, as much as I can enjoy the playability and usefulness and powerfulnessosity of extra deck cards, I can't make up words. As much as I can enjoy how powerful, how powerful and awesome and strategical that extra deck cards are, I am destroying this box. I got it. It's good to go with simplicity, especially in the current format where extra deck cards are hindered by link monsters. As usual, we have a manual. Who cares? We have a field, which also counts as the deck list and strategy guide, which means I can't exactly throw this away. I'll just set it down right here. And we have the cards. And there's an advertisement for Duel Links, because that's not a money suck at all. Anyway, Synthetic Seraphim token is a token that you summon with the effect of Synthetic Seraphim. This card right here. It's a continuous trap. It lets you summon one of these every time you play a counter trap. Oh, wait. Every time a counter trap is activated. So every time you or your friend plays a counter trap. But let's see what counter traps exist in here. We have Divine Punishment again, Dark Bribe, Solemn Warning, Ultimate Providence, Drastic Drop Off, and Recall. So
every trap in the deck.
No, we have other traps in the deck. We have Miraculous Descent and Light of Judgment, and that's it. This has got to be a good sign. Okay, they're giving us the possibility to summon all these tokens, and all the monsters in here are fairy type again, and they're all light attribute again. So there's got to be a reason for this. Let's consult the field book thing. All right. Anyway, this field is actually updated. As you can see, these I can't hold this up. like they actually call these 5 zones the main monster zones. I just pointed at 4 and called it 5. These 5 are called the main monster zones, and these 2 are called the extra zones because that's the new rule. The monsters from your extra deck are summoned here. So let's see. The deck is full of monsters. They can use their effects after a counter trap resolves. So the theme of this deck is let your opponent do something, cancel it, then do something after you cancel it.
That's what it sounded like.
So let's see here. Rebirth of Parshath is a counter trap that can allow it to. That allows us to reveal a counter trap from the hand, discard a card, pay 1,000 life points to negate it, shuffle it into the owner's deck, then special summon a Parshath, meaning that I can summon Minerva, and then that's when the counter trap resolves. Oh wait, no! I can summon Air Knight Parshath, the strongest monster here, and if Minerva's on the field, I can also give Minerva a 500 point boost, and as a Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, I can add another counter trap. Wait, does this deck have Sanctuary in the Sky in it?
Yes, it does. I saw 1 copy.
Let me see it. There's no way. There's no way this deck also has. Yes, it does. I need to pay more attention to the cards in my own decks. Let's see. What else does it say on this map? The Sanctum of Parshath Wait a minute. The Sanctum of Parshath is also the Sanctuary in the Sky.
Yeah, it counts as it when it's in play.
It's like Maid of the Aqua being treated as Yumi, or the Legendary Ocean being treated as Yumi, or Yumi Ruka is some people treat it as Yumi, but those people are cheaters.
Yeah. Because it just has Yumi in its name.
Yeah. Alright, this card's name goes into Fairy type monsters on the field gain 300 points. Set cards cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. Once per turn, you can target 3 fairy monsters or counter traps in your graveyard and place them on top of your deck. Okay, so
how many copies of that are there in the deck? The Sanctum of Parshath.
Let's see. We have a 1, and well, if you counted a Sanctuary in the Sky, then I technically have 2 Sanctuaries in the Sky.
Well, I was wondering about just the Sanctum of Parshath.
Then 1. It's just 1.
Well, that blows.
If
it gets destroyed, you're just SOL.
If you're expecting me to make comments about the rarities and foil nature of some of the cards, I don't come here for value. I come here for playability. And if you're gonna write in the comments saying I should talk about value, blow me. Let's see. Valhalla, which is weird because that's pretty much Viking heaven. I thought we were taking religion out of this. What the hell, Konami? You're confusing me. This allows you to special summon a fairy from the hand if your field is empty. So that can also bring back the strongest monster in the deck. So Sanctum of Parshath can, let's see, put Splendid Venus on top as well as Athena. Wait a minute. If another fairy monster is summoned, so Athena allows you to inflict damage if another fairy is summoned, and I think I realized why I wanted to quit doing Yu-Gi mods, because this is boring. Anyway, let's talk about the granddaddy of the cards, the Sacred Arch Air Knight Parshath. I haven't been so excited about a card with Arch in its name since I saw Michael the Archlight Sworn. Like, I swear, when I was at the events, people would not shut up when I was in the same room as that card. People, there's people there that come here all the time, even some YouTubers, smaller YouTubers. Whenever they summon that card, they shout over to me like, "Hey Mike, get on the field, I summoned you."
I was one of them.
You were not. Don't lie.
I played the Michael.
Yeah, you played the card, but you didn't say, "Hey Mike, get on the table," like a friggin' jackass.
I think I did once. Just once, though.
And that's why you're still a jackass. Let's see. So this card is shiny. If the camera can even catch that.
Pretty foily things.
Let me hold it up to the good camera. Oh, shit. Shiny. See? Now I have good reason for kids to start watching me, because I'm pretty much dangling a shiny object in their face. Like, comment, subscribe, 500 million views. Put me on YouTube Kids, motherfucker.
Yeah, that last bit right there will get you kicked off of YouTube Kids.
And yet YouTube Kids will have homosexual scenes with two Spider-Man in two men in Spider-Man costumes.
Okay.
Anyway.
Things that make you go.
Things that make you go. Card on my crotch. If you activate a counter trap, or if you negate an activation of a card or effect, you can banish two other fairies from your hand or graveyard, especially summon this card from the graveyard or hand. If this card attacks blah blah pierce damage. If it inflicts battle damage, you can add a power shaft from your deck to your hand. So it's really strong and can help you get more monsters. So the theme of this deck is, once again, light attribute fairy type. You can get more monsters out of it. Stop it!
I'm trying to make it silence.
It's okay. People love it when I fart on camera. There's other monsters in here that work with, as you can see by the map, there's other monsters in here that actually enhance the cards in the deck and are not necessarily part of the archetype, but they are all light attribute fairy type, which, while it seems elitist to the common person, it actually works out good in the long run. And it has some booster cards that don't necessarily have to flow into the archetype, but it does work. Before I take this deck into the duel simulator, let's take a look at the pendulum monsters in this thing. We have a 3 scale and
probably like a 5 scale.
We only have one pendulum monster in here. There's only one pendulum monster in here! There's only one pendulum monster in here! How the hell do you pendulum summon with one fucking pendulum monster? I don't like this! I don't like this! Ah! I apologize for that outburst I had earlier, but it just kinda irks me when I see things that are incomplete. Call it OCD, but I call it the universe is rigged against me. But to truly know the power of how Way of Light works, we gotta fire up our duel simulator once again.
Ooh, another simulation?
Yeah, but you can't do it because, look, Japanese Dark Magician Girl!
Ooh, boobies, good.
He'll be out for a couple hours. Now, to tell you the truth about these replay files in particular, I pretty much recorded this set when it was like late at night one of these days, so I wasn't really dueling at my peak performance. But this is me using Wave of Light. It is a recent structure deck, and here you can kind of see the angel aesthetic with Honest and the Air Knights and all that stuff. The point of this deck is counter traps and Air Knight Parshats and helper cards, because what you want to do is trigger the effects that allow you to special summon monsters so that you can use their effects, some of which might be boosted with Sanctuary in the Sky, but I don't quite remember. But also, the best card and the key card in the deck, of course, is Sacred Arch Air Knight Parshat. This card in particular is special summoned by banishing 2 fairy type monsters after you activate a counter trap. That's why counter trap cards are very important. And of course you got some heavenly themes here, like the Sanctuary in the Skies, the Field, and of course this continuous spell Valhalla, Hall of the Fallen. I mean, sure, they can tone down the heaven all they want when it comes to the TCG variants of the cards, but you can't deny now that Valhalla exists. And if you read Nordic folklore, I don't even know how to say that anymore, then you surely are aware of what Valhalla is when it comes to like Vikings and stuff. So much like with the other deck, I don't really see much room for expansion considering the elitism of the monster types. However, I can kind of see a bit more of it in terms of counter traps, but probably not so many because a lot of deck builders recommends that you put as few traps in the deck as possible in relation to spells and monsters, because you want more monsters in a deck so that you can have more summoning opportunities. You want an even amount of spell cards to help your game, and you want as few trap cards as possible so that you don't constantly fill up your back row the whole time. But anyway, aside from the counter traps, I don't really know what else to say except for maybe wait for Air Knight Parshath booster cards for that archetype to come out if they haven't already. And yeah, nothing much to say except heaven. It's a thing. It exists. They say heaven is a place on earth. Well, heaven is apparently a type of Yu-Gi-Oh card. Wrap your head around that one. Overall, Wave of Light has a steep learning curve, but I feel like once you get some good draws and you practice with some good combinations, you can make great use of it. Which is why I give this game...
Hey, nice try. This ain't no dart magician, girl.
Then why were you staring at it for 45 minutes?
I don't know. You tricked me.
Anyway, this deck gets an 8 out of 10. Sorry you missed it again. It was like so awesome and cool. You shouldn't have missed it.
Darn it.
But you'll have your chance as we move on to our third and final deck, Saga Blue Eyes White Dragon, after this commercial break. Sorry that my co-host got distracted by Japanese card movies, but he's back on the camera now and we're ready to take a look at our final deck, one of my favorite decks of all time, the Saga of Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is the deck that got me more interested in Yu-Gi-Oh! Than I ever thought possible, and it showed that not only can cards have a powerful endgame goal to them, but can also be simplified for noobs to use. I actually gave this deck to I actually showed out this deck to plenty of new players in my time, and by plenty I mean one, and I showed him how to play it. He understood it perfectly, and he thoroughly kicked my ass. I'm not talking about you, don't flatter yourself. Okay. So, yep, box has been opened. We got a rule book. Blah. We got a field. Blah. And we have this, the thing that teaches you how to use the cards. Even though there's not really much to it. That's why it's so small. It's small, like Chris's dick.
Hey.
Anyway.
I resent that.
Hey, you had your chance on Twitter, but you ran out of time. Okay. The tip they give you is if versus when. Like, if means if something happens. Let me see it. Cards that say you can do something when something happens means their effects occur. If they don't, or something happens in between, you missed your chance. If it occurs if something happens, then you do it as soon as you can after the condition has been met. And now let's turn to this side because we need to open this masterpiece, which I just caught somehow. I am super pro. Yeah, you might see things like blow away slightly, but that's because like we're cramped in a hot room for nearly hours recording these videos and we needed a fan. Luckily we found a silent one. So let's open this thing. Hang on. Just a second. Okay.
Watching him try to open decks is so complicated. Ooh, yeah, that's where I hit the arm, I had the camera in it. Okay.
Alright, I got it.
There's a little peel thing on the back of it, just undo it around and the whole thing just pops
I'm looking for it. It's just that it's like got like the freaking friction all over it, and it's like it's hard for me to grasp. If that made any sense. Ah, you fudge! Come on.
Yeah, are you aware of how a cigarette pack opens?
No, because I don't smoke, unlike some idiots.
There's a peel thing on the...
I got it. I found an opening. I'm going to stick my fingers in the hole and then it'll pop open.
Oh boy, here we go again.
Hey, at least I know where I'm coming from with these references. I bet you never even kissed a girl.
Touche.
Okay. So we got a deck. Let's look at it. Alright, this is the star attraction, the Blue Eyes White Dragon. You may now remove your jaw from the floor. And the whole hang on, I need a second. And the purpose of this deck is to summon him. And also him. But the good news is he's the only extra deck monster in this deck, so he's not. So this deck isn't affected so much by the new rule set, but at least you can be aware of it now. The entire deck revolves around summoning this guy. And how do you summon this guy? Well, with 2 tributes, of course. But what do you do if you don't have 2 tributes? You use this thing, one of the best cards in the entire game, the main with Eyes of Blue. What she does is you summon her, and everyone's like, why did you summon her? She's got no attack points. They'll attack her thinking they can get an easy hit on you. Then you do this, and then you do this.
Then their jaw drops, and they start salivating.
Or, if they try and use an effect on to destroy it because they know damn well what it's going to do, her second effect activates, and then you can do this. The effect will still go through, but at least you have that now. Anyway, what else we got in here? Oh, I forgot. I gotta keep the paper down. Let's see. You can use Dragon Shrine. Dragon Shrine allows you to select the dragon in your deck and send it to the graveyard. And if it's a normal monster, you can do it twice. And what they want you to do is put this in your graveyard, and then you get to play Monster Reborn and revive it. Of course, Monster Reborn is banned or limited in the current format. I think it's banned.
Limited? No, I think no.
Is it?
I'm not sure. We'll have to check on that later.
like at one point this was banned, but I can definitely assure you that there are people out there that have realized that this was banned and found alternatives. So I beseech you to go out and look for your own.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of alternatives to Monster Reborn.
Alright, what other cards can summon Blue Eyes? We have
There's the White Stone of Legend.
I'll get to that in a minute. We have Silver's Cry. Silver's Cry allows you to... Am I holding it up? It allows you to special summon a normal dragon from the graveyard. So you can just play that and go bloop. It's that simple. And there's also a trap card that can also do something about that. And that is called the Castle of Dragon Souls. This card, I can't read. Hang on. You can banish dragon type monster from your graveyard. Target monster you control against her and attack until the end phase. When this card in the field sent to the graveyard, you can target a banished monster and special summon it. So, what you do is, you can banish dragons to boost your...
Nice.
Someone grab that, please. Okay. Okay. So you banish dragons with this to boost your other dragons, and then when people are sick of your shit and you're done boosting your and they want you to be done boosting your dragons, you can take one of the dragons you used to boost your dragons, put them right back. There you go. You got a Blue Eyes again. It's like Blue Eyes up the wazoo. Oh, and of course, if you want to synchro summon, because everybody loves synchro summoning as much as they love card games on motorcycles, you have your Blue Eyes, and you have a maiden. The maiden is a tuner. And here's some math. 8, he's level 8, she's level 1. 8 plus 1 equals 9. And when you get 9, you get the Azurite Silver Dragon. And this monster can protect you.
As a permanent maiden.
Kinda, sorta, not really. This card protects your dragons from effects for a full turn, and then on your next turn you can just special summon Blue Eyes again. So you got this, and your opponent's got chlamydia. I mean, they lost. Same thing, right?
Yep.
Let's see, what else is in here? Blah blah blah. The Rider of the Storm Winds. You can it is a monster, a tuner as well, but you can also equip it to Blue Eyes. You want to sneeze over there? Yeah, same thing. So you have this, and you equip it to your Blue Eyes, like so, and then it can inflict piercing damage. So this with piercing damage, I think we just about made your nightmares, which is ironic considering this is a light attribute. And he can do a one-time protection of destruction. So if Blue Eyes White Dragon's about to... So if Blue Eyes White Dragon here is about to be destroyed in battle, you can just... bloop, and there you go. It fell on the floor. I need to stop doing that. So if you have Blue Eyes White Dragon equipped with this guy for piercing damage, and someone's about to attack it and destroy it, you can take the life point damage, but to prevent your destruction, all you have to do is bloop, and there you go. You also got plenty of helpful cards in here by like Darkstorm Dragon, which is a Gemini. Why the hell did people think this was a good idea? Why did it fall on the sock? Why did it fall on my sock? Stupid fans. Okay, then you have the Kaiser Glider, which is a good bouncer backer kind of dragon. You have this Hieratic Dragon of Teflon? Tefnugent?
Tefnuit.
What the fuck is a Tefnuit? Let's see, you can special summon it if they have a monster and you don't. It can't tag during the same turn if you do. You can tribute it to special summon a dragon that's normal, but its attack and defense becomes 0. So what you can do with this, actually, is you can special summon it if your opponent has monsters and you don't. Wait a turn. Actually, no, don't wait a turn. Tribute it out for one of your slightly stronger monsters, like Kaiser Glider here, and then you can freaking, once it's tributed, you can summon like Blue Eyes. Where's Blue Eyes go? Blue Eyes, but it has no points. Like, what's the point of bringing down a monster if it has no points? Well, be patient, little shit. I'll tell you. Next, you can... What do you do? Oh! You can still use the Burst Stream of Destruction to wipe out the field. And then, hopefully you'll scare them off long enough that you can... Oh wait, no, you don't have to, because there's also 1-for-1, which is limited in the current format, by the way. This allows you to special summon a level 1 monster, which you can have this, or even this, and then, even though he's 0, you can still tune it together. You get this, and then a turn later, you get this back with all the points, and then you're pretty much gonna win because you're awesome, and you get all the ladies because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is totally an awesome game, and it's not for lonely man children whatsoever. Anyway, this deck is pretty good, but, of course it can do with improvements. But all that really matters about Blue Eye's power is how he performs in a duel.
So let's start up that simulator.
No! Get your sticky little hands away from my button. With all those card games you play, you don't know where it's been. Like, this is why I didn't want you doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Month in the first place. You couldn't handle it, and you disrespect my equipment. I knew this was a bad idea. I knew I shouldn't have trusted you with this important video. Go back to your Vanguard crap, you piece of shit. Piss off! Sorry about that. He's being a bit of a prick today. Let's just fire up some Kaiba shit. Now, here's the thing about Saga Blue Eyes White Dragon. When I was reunited with this structure deck again, it filled me with immense glory and wonderment and amazement and huzzah factor. Because it's been a while since I played this deck in particular, and I friggin' loved the way that it played. I love, expanding upon it, customizing it, and doing all sorts of awesome things with it. And I also love the simplicity of it, because, in essence, your goal is to summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon by any means possible. And this deck has plenty of cards to help you accomplish your goal. The key card, of course, other than the Blue Eyes White Dragon, being the Maiden with Eyes of Blue, as you can see right now. She can stop attacks, change your battle position, and special summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon if she's targeted. And she gets the Blue Eyes White Dragon out immediately if targeted for effects by your opponent. So, yeah, that's the kind of monster you don't want to mess with. Ignore that. Of the 3 decks I have reviewed thus far, this deck actually has a card in the extra deck, which you can see here is the Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. You can summon it with any tuner and any non-tuner that is a normal monster, but obviously they want you to use one of the 2 tuners included with the deck with the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Essentially, when he gets out, your dragons are protected from being targeted or destroyed by opponent's card effects, and in the next turn you can special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon. What more could you ask for? And as for expandability, I will say that on its own, while the deck does introduce people to the concept of the deck's goals, you must expand on it and if you want to use it regularly. This deck only contains 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon, and if you want to get the most out of the deck, I recommend you triple up on the Dragon, triple up on the Maiden, and let me just click file 3 because that was a bit awkward. Where was I? Oh yeah, triple up on the Dragon, triple up on the Maiden, and I think there's I can't remember if there were more Blue Eyes White Dragons or Blue Eyes or Cyber Dragons. What was that? Chaos Dragon or whatever? I forget. But anyway, I recommend you take this deck and buy 3 of them and stock up on the best of each kind of card because it is amazing. If you want to make a Kaiba deck out of this, go right ahead because I don't think you can do much harm with Kaiba's regular cards, though like last year I do not recommend the Union Monsters. Oh my god, Union Monsters, what the hell were I thinking? But anyway, if you want to play this deck, I suggest you maximize it to its full potential. Take some time and money and effort to really invest into making this deck awesome. But whatever you do, don't just use this deck at face value. You'll be laughed out of the tournament venue and you will be like the new meme of the Yu-Gi-Oh community. Not in a good way. Yeah. That's pretty much the Saga Blue Eyes White Dragon. It is an epic saga indeed, and it is awesome. And Kaiba is awesome for having it, even if he is being a jerk to children in the anime. At least he has awesome cards while he does it. In conclusion, I have to give the Saga Blue Eyes deck a 6 out of 10, but only by itself. And of course, it has plenty of room for improvement, like, you know, adding more Blue Eyes White Dragons to it, and maybe some fusions, or some more synchros. There's plenty of customization and enhancement opportunities available, and I urge you to go out and find them for yourself. And don't forget, if you want to play any of the decks I mentioned in this video in Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, click the link in the description below to download the YDK files from Google Drive. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more Yu-Gi-Oh! content on the way. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next...
How unfortunate. Uh-oh, how unfortunate. I'm gonna do a sneaky thing.
Oh,
and
no.
throw a new contender in the ring.
Oh, no, no! Ah! Who do I have to fight?